Finding the ghost room is the first thing you should do in any game of Phasmophobia because you need to be in the ghost room to get the evidence. But this also seems to be a very confusing issue for a lot of beginners, so I'm going to go over some of the best tips so you can find the ghost room fast that'll allow you to identify the ghost before even getting hunted. I think this first tip, a lot of people might not like, but it's going to kind of help everything, especially on amateur. So if you don't care about the safety timer, which I don't think you should, because if you find the ghost room fast, you can find the ghost and identify it without even getting hunted, but open the door before actually going inside. Now, playing on amateur, the breaker starts on, so therefore the whole house is going to be very warm and the ghost room needs time to cool down. If you're playing more than amateur, you can go turn on the breaker right away and then come back out of the house, given time for the house to cool up or to warm up and the ghost room to cool down even more. We're not just going to stand there at the door waiting, twiddling our thumbs the whole time. I recommend you just start taking equipment in and throwing it by the door. One of the first equipments you should take in is the thermometer while you're doing this, so that way the thermometer, the tier 1 thermo especially, has time to warm up to the actual environment, which will help finding the ghost room more easily. Now, after you have moved all your equipment in, there's going to be two ways that's going to be great at finding the ghost room, and that's going to be looking for your breath in the room or using the thermo to look for a temperature drop. Let's start with the breath first. You will see your breath in cold temps, which is essentially anything like below 9 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Typically, the ghost room is going to be cooler than this, which is why you will see your breath. So if you see your breath in the room, you can 99% be certain that that is going to be the ghost room. Only thing that kind of throws a wrench in that is that if it is snowing outside and the breaker is off, the whole house is going to be super cold and you'll see your breath everywhere, including even outside of the house. This is why I always recommend turning the breaker on if it is off at the start of the game. But if you're playing on amateur, obviously the breaker starts on, so it's not as big of a deal. Just if the ghost turns it off, make sure to turn it back on. So the biggest issue here with the tier 1 thermometer is, as of the Eventide or Eventide update, tier 1 thermo got a big nerf, and that is you're going to see a constant up and down motion with thermo is applying some randomness to it. So if you see it go down, make sure you see it go steadily down. Now you can go room to room with the thermo, look at it, see if you see the steady decrease. And if you see a steady decrease, chances are you're likely going to see your breath first as well, and that'll let you confirm that you are in fact in the ghost room. So if you do see that steady decrease and you see your breath, go ahead and start bringing in your evidence items into that room because you know that's going to be the ghost room. So depending on the difficulty, like on amateur, the ghost is not going to change rooms or really roam around that much, so you don't have to worry about it picking a new room and then having to reset up there. Higher difficulties you will, but it just varies. Now, one of my favorite ways to play when I'm doing 3 evidence, which if you've seen a lot of my videos, you will already know, start with a video cam, EMF reader, and a UV light. Video cam can be very good for picking out the ghost room if you happen to have a ghost with ghost orbs. Here's the thing though, almost 50% of the ghosts have ghost orbs. It's like 11 out of the 24 ghosts. So chances are high that you're actually going to find a ghost that has ghost orbs. And if you see ghost orbs in that room, you know exactly which room the ghost room is. You can go ahead and place all your evidence items down. You do just want to be careful with the orbs that you do check for a mimic, which we talk about a lot. So mimics have fake orbs. It's not actually their piece of evidence. Yeah, when you find those orbs, run, get your evidence items, set it up, and you can have a quick game just like this. The breaker is on with the thermo right away. Now we'll place the book. Are you here?
Here in the
Okay. And we have ghost writing. Just like that. Look how quick that was. Look at that. 2 minutes, 8 seconds getting the ghost. Boom. Just like that. Fantastic. Now, what if you want to be super impatient and you just want to go rushing right on in? You're scared to use the video camera because you want a flashlight. All right. Here's going to be the next best thing that you can do. And that's going to be using the EMF reader to figure out where the interactions come from. That's what the EMF reader does. When I first started playing, I thought EMF reader, I just walked around and got like some random reading and I'm like, oh, this must be where the ghost is. And it's not really how it works. So the EMF reader, you want to take it to where the ghost interacts with objects. So if it throws a cup, touches a door, knocks on a window, just about anything, it's going to give off an EMF reading. Now to get EMF 5, there's a 25% chance that that interaction will be EMF 5. But we're not here talking about the evidence. How do we use this to determine the ghost room? Here's where you have to be careful because ghosts can interact with objects through the wall or they can roam around and change rooms to interact with an object and then maybe even go back to their room. So what I would like to do with that, if I hear an interaction, verify it with the EMF reader. As you play with time, you're going to be able to pick up on the little interactions a bit more. Like you might not know if a ghost threw a fork, through a cup, knocked on a window right away because it can be a little subtle, and when you're worried about a lot of other things, you might not pick up on it. But one thing you should be able to listen for is door touches. So if we, for instance, hear a door touch interaction, when we have a UV light on us, we can check it for UV, and we would know that, okay, the ghost is either in the room with the door or like the hallway right outside of it. That's where we're gonna go back, get our thermometer, get our video cam. Do we see any orbs, and where do we see the temperature decrease at, and where do we see our breath? That's how you kind of put all those items together to find the ghost room, and you're gonna find that super fast. And when you find the ghost room fast with your sanity high, chances are very well you're not gonna get hunted, especially on amateur where sanity drain takes a lot longer. If you do want to see how to put this all together, I did just make an updated guide after the Eventide update, so click or tap the screen now to watch that. It's going to show you how to find that ghost room fast utilizing all of these tips, and we don't even get hunted in those videos. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all the channel members for the extra support. It truly does mean a lot to me. Happy hunting, everybody, and let's go show you how to figure out these ghosts.